In a chilling escalation of Iran's global terror campaign, Azerbaijani and Western security officials have revealed that the Iranian regime offered a Georgian drug trafficker $200,000 to assassinate Rabbi Shneor Segal, a prominent Jewish leader in Baku. The plot, part of a broader trend of Tehran outsourcing political assassinations to criminal networks, was masterminded by the IRGC's notorious Quds Force and included plans to attack a Jewish educational center. The Iranian officer handed the hitman Aslanov a photo of the prominent Jewish figure in Azerbaijan and detailed instructions on how to kill him, said a security source. Authorities intercepted the plot before it could unfold, arresting both the hitman and his local accomplice. The operation is just one of a growing string of attempted assassinations of Israeli and Jewish figures around the world as Iran kind of spirals in their relationship with the Trump administration. Um, so I wanted to highlight this mostly because I think it's important for people to understand, as I briefly mentioned before, and Armin can speak to this a lot more, that this is worrying, but also we should kind of be happy because Mossad is so good at their job that they are so good at stopping almost all of these plots before they even happen. I don't They have eyes everywhere and it's like Jews and rabbis around the world. They like got their eyes on you and they're alerting the local national authorities of like some crazy plots. Like they got it on lock
Yeah.
most of the time. You
I'm
know, there was
jealous of Israelis, honestly, sometimes having this
yeah.
level of protection worldwide. Yeah.
And so basically I like this is another example of that. And while this is obviously like very worrying, and Israel has to put out all these notices to their nationals of like, especially during Passover, by the way, happy Passover, everyone. That look like there could be increased attacks during this time. You have to be careful. Don't go to this country. Be aware, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is actually a sign, I believe. Armin could correct me. I think this is actually a sign of how weak the Islamic Republic really is on multiple
Right.
levels. One, that this is the tactic that they're resorting to at all. They can't do anything against Israel. So the next best thing that they can do is just go like terrorize random Jewish civilians around the world. But then also because their operational security in this foreign theater is so poor that they're not able to go do this themselves. They have to outsource their assassinations to random Russian criminal gangs that suck at their job,
Right.
like what happened with Masih Alinejad. So, Armin, I mean, do you want to expand on that anymore?
No, but I'm just actually very like it's amazing that at this time the regime is still doing this because they are under so much pressure both from the Iranian people, from Israel and United States, and from their own religious supporters that are turning on them. And in the middle of all of this shit, like in the middle of all the storm that they're in, actually maybe that's why they're doing it. No, it makes sense why they're doing it, because their support. Okay, so the like the Iranian regime faces three threats. One, the liberal secular minded Iranian people who want to topple the government. Second one is the external threat from United States and Israel. But the third one, which is the greatest threat of all, is their own fans and supporters turning against them because of for three reasons. One, why are you not enforcing hijab laws? Isn't this an Islamic country? Two, why are you not responding to Israel militarily after they attacked us more aggressively? Why are you not saving Palestine? Why are you not doing more for the Palestinian people? And three, why are you negotiating with the United States? Why are you negotiating with Trump, who is the murderer of Qasem Soleimani? These are and that's why the regime is really, really afraid of losing its base support. And this might be why they're doing this, because they're like, hey, maybe we cannot annihilate Israel, but what if we get a rabbi? Okay, can we actually appease you like that? Like, what if, like, sure, we threw 300 missiles at them and we didn't kill a single person except a Palestinian outside of the borders of Israel. But what if we could assassinate one rabbi? Could we satisfy some of our own base to become a little bit less aggressive against us. That's why they're doing this.
So, this is obviously like I can understand why people would be like very scared or freaked out by this, but personally, I think this is a sign of how weak they are and how
They
it's
are because they
pathetic.
cannot hit. Yeah, because they need to show that they're anti-Jewish in a way to appease, like, because the narrative that they're hoping on social media, the regime supporters on social media say, like, because they are very embarrassed about how weak they look right now. After October 7th, the Islamic Republic looks just day by day, it's looking weaker and weaker. They want their supporters to go be able to say, like, aha, look, Jews all around the world, they are always going to be afraid. We're always like, this is
Mhm.
this is what you get for like occupying Palestine. The Iranian regime has made it so every Jew has to look over his shoulder, and that's how we terrorize you. So they want to give them a win. They want to give them a win.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And
so
they can't
it's
even do that, by the way.
they can't even do that because again, they don't even have the capacity to go do this themselves with their own dudes, partially because it allows them plausible deniability, but also like they just don't have the operational capacity to do it. So they're just hiring random drug trafficking thugs around the world,
Right.
mostly Russians and Chechens and people associated with the Russian mob. Although, like what happened with Masih Alinejad, those people were actually Azerbaijani themselves and Azeri. Um, because that's the best that they can manage. It's crazy. Like the the rabbi that was recently assassinated in the UAE, that story was huge. He was Israeli Moldovan young guy, 28 years old, and he was kidnapped and assassinated in the UAE. And let me tell you, those Emiratis were not fucking around when they went after the guys that did that. They're like, I don't know where you think you're doing this, okay, but no, we have an iron fist and we're not fucking around. Like the Emiratis I follow on Twitter, we're not fucking around. They're like, there's gonna be hell to pay, and we're not playing. We're not pretending we live in a liberal democracy here, and you're gonna feel that. I was
Okay,
like,
we have to be careful because,
but that whole
okay.
that assassination that happened in the Emirates. We don't know this yet, but there are certain elements of how that assassination happened that felt similar to how Iran does their assassination attempts, where it was a couple of foreign nationals involved in a criminal gang. I can't remember if they were Uzbek or Tajik. My brain is telling me they're Uzbek. I can't quite remember. And they were kind of doing this operation. I don't know. There were things we and then the Iranian regime denied any involvement in it. They said, no, we didn't do it. How dare you? Blah, blah, blah. We would never. Blah. We don't know it as a fact, but I'm saying that specific example, based on what I understand, could fit within the pattern of what the Islamic Republic does. The good news is, though, is that although we have seen a large spike in this kind of activity from the Islamic Republic, especially after October 7th, is that the vast, vast, vast majority of them have all been foiled. They've all failed
Mm,
because
yeah.
of Western security alliances like tipping off local governments because they have, their sources, or Mossad getting involved in tipping off people or helping like evacuate people. Like the vast, vast, vast majority of all these bullshit assassination, transnational repression attempts failed because they just suck at their
Yeah,
job and they're pathetic. So,
they're pathetic. And we're here to make fun of them, which is that, guys, making fun of them is important because their soft power requires them not to look pathetic. And when you make fun of them, you're basically hurting the Islamic regime's soft power. So I know it's entertaining, but it's also very effective. Okay, what should we read these comments?
yes, so this is just one kind
So
of going over the general report that came out.
yeah,
Um, and
so this is it.
this is another wait, scroll down a little bit so I can see the reaction.
Yeah.
Um, and this person is saying that's where Iran spends its money instead of improving the welfare of its people. True, they prefer to export their terror and be one of the largest exporters of Holocaust denialism and anti-Semitism in the world, rather than have their people have a good life because they are not fighting for Iran; they're fighting for Islam. So,
Yeah, and also this is not an exaggeration. If you actually look at their budget, if you go look at the numbers, they have spent, and I mean, this doesn't take that much money, but if you look at how much the regime has spent on exporting terror all around the world, it could have made the Iranian people's lives so much better if had invested that on its people instead.
yeah.
But so this is just the news, but let's go read the comment. What the? Okay.
Lies.
Lies.
Of course, of course. It's all lies. Never believe
It's
it.
got Jews. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So lame.
Let's always blame the Jews.
Yeah.
The Jews are never the victim. They're always the oppressor. Okay.
So insane.
Okay.
Well, anyways, happy Passover, everyone. Just FYI, I forgot to
Yeah.
say that at the top of the show. I've been trying to find a
Mhm.
Passover event I can go to. And I don't know, I just might show up at a random Hillel and be like, hey guys.
Okay. All right, we
So
did it.
if you
We did
celebrate, I
good.
hope you're having some fun time with your family and your friends.
Yes, you could celebrate by liking this stream, and also by subscribing if you're not subscribed, and by hitting the bell notification or telling a friend, say happy Passover. Are you subscribed to Atheist Republic? You're like, what? Like, yes, do that. Do that. Okay. So recommend our channel, please, so that we could grow. Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube, blasphemous art ever? We do! And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.